I am live right now. Just myself. Forgive me, please, for being distant lately. I had some stuff to take care of in life, and I got fucking sick. Man, I got hammered with this cold. You guys could probably hear it in my voice right now. Man, it feels weird to come on here right now and start talking, but it's good. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I'm doing this. I wanted to come to you guys live tonight, just to get back in the saddle. Number one, I've it's been about a week or so that I've been on the air, or since I've been on the air, and I've been stewing with a lot of thoughts aside from being fucking sick. Like I said, I think I got hit with the flu pretty hard. And whenever I get sick, man, I try to get that thing out of my system as fast as possible. I do whatever I can in order to fight and stave it off, but this just came in, kicked me right in the nuts. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram or whatever, but I was out in Miami last week, met up with a bunch of guys that I met through these communities and so forth, a bunch of guys that I work with in this kind of masculine development kind of sphere, and went out to Miami for the first time ever and got to see how that was, and man, that was crazy. But I've gotten to witness a few different things, and I got to come back and kind of just start to witness a few more things with people in general. And yeah, actually, that's kind of one of the things that brought it up, was going out to Miami. That kind of got me thinking about this, and what I want to hit on, what I want to focus on. I don't want to be too long today. Just to remind you guys, tomorrow we're going live with John Fitch at 9:30 in the morning with Red Pill Smash Bros. We'll be doing that. And I think, I'm pretty sure, hopefully I have the energy, going to be hitting War Story Sunday tomorrow night with my best story, deepest story, hardest story. So be aware of that. I wanted to come at you guys with this. I wanted to come at you with the two greatest, most challenging, toughest, but most rewarding choices I've ever made in my life up to this point. And I wanted to put this out there on air because there's so many people out there that choose kind of the easy path. They fucking kind of choose it. They choose the easy path. And going and heading to Miami last week and seeing how people do business, it being around the holidays right now and seeing how people do business, just seeing our culture, being in airports and so forth. And then, man, just kind of in my line of work and the things that I do right now, it's really easy to see how people become a slave to comfort. And they expect one thing in their life. They expect these results in their life. But yet they don't want to do the necessary things in order to get to where they want to go. They want the end state, but they don't want to go on the journey to get to that end state. And, I sit here and I try to look at my life constantly. I try to see in my life where my goals and dreams are, and if I'm congruent and my activities are congruent with me driving towards that. And sometimes I have to sit there and I have to look at myself and be like, listen, mofo, like, you are not being congruent. You got to do some shit. You got to change some shit. You got to do some different things. Mind you, I'm actually just coming back from a holiday party. That's why I look so dapper right now. I wish you guys could see the full outfit. It actually looks pretty good. Pretty proud of it. The two toughest things I've ever made, or two toughest choices I've made up to this point in my life. Let's get into it. Because for most of you, there's going to be a few people out there that are going to be pretty critical of it, which I'm happy about. Mind you, also, this is one thing I want to point out too. I've attracted quite a bit of haters lately. So I want to say what's up to my haters out there that are providing me with the best marketing possible. Thank you for buying my book, by the way, whoever it was, Sabine or whatever out there. Thanks for buying my book and leaving a 1-star review. I appreciate the money. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. I'll take your money. Let's go ahead. If you want to send me more money, that would be better. You can hit me up. PayPal.me/Corey Capella. I'll listen to you fucking say all the shit you want to say. Just, put the Benjamins right there in my fucking hand. Anyway, getting back to the topic at hand today. The 2 toughest choices I've ever made that have provided me the best results. Probably the 2 toughest choices that I've made that I'm most proud of and that have also given me the best rewards. The first choice, and this is going to go on a little tangent, but the first choice that I made, that's probably the toughest thing I've ever done. Well, one of them that most people will never, ever be willing to do is I cut my parents out of my life. I think that repeats saying because some people probably be like, what? No, I haven't talked to my parents. I haven't talked to my immediate family in probably 2 years or, my other people longer. And here's a simple fact, and here's a simple reason why. And this is really what the I guess the moral of what I'm trying to say is this. The best lesson that I've learned in life is simply toxic people are toxic people and they deserve to get fucking removed from your life. And if you're too cowardly to remove toxic people from your life, you fucking get what you deserve. You get the results that you deserve. There is not one single person in your life. There's nobody that is irreplaceable. There's nobody. There's nothing. The only thing that's irreplaceable in your life is you. So, if someone in your life is the Debbie Downer, the narcissist, the sociopath, the psychopath, the type of person that's going to continue to move the goalposts on you, the type of person who is codependent and leeching off of you, you have any of those toxic people that are hanging around you that always paint themselves as the victim and you as the oppressor, you need to do what you can to get them out of your life. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And a lot of people get stuck in the fact of the if or the how. Chance, out of there, buddy. Come on. Good man. On the bed. Go. Good man. You're such a good boy. Removing toxic people from your life is priority number 1. These people are what's known as energy vampires. They're the types of people that will flip the script on you always and be the type of person that's going to sit there and guilt and shame you into doing their bidding and dumping more energy into them rather than being a complement to your life. And that, my friends, is one of the biggest blue pill truths that people try to buy into, is that there's people in your life that can't be replaced, that blood is thicker than water and you can't get rid of people that are your blood, that you have to love your mom and your dad regardless of the things that they've done to you in your life or the things that they are currently doing or whatever, right? That, my friends, is blue pill. Okay. Red pill, I would honestly say that the central tenet of red pill is this, like, it's your frame. And with you at the center of your, like, you're the captain of your ship. And if people aren't on your team that are serving your best interests, you need to boot them. And it's not to say that this is like it's not to say it's like a one-way street and it's supposed to be you take everything and never give or any of that stuff. But instead, it's removing toxic people out of that spot. And it's also establishing boundaries in your life that says you will provide value and you will live within my boundaries, or else I will omit you. I don't give a fuck who or what type of relationship we have. I'll cut you. And that's honestly the most powerful thing that someone can do. And I'm proud to say that I'm quite proficient with that in my life right now. I have 6 viewers in the chat right now, guys. I just wanted to hop on here. I know it's Saturday night. It's a little bit early, 7:30. Hoping to, get a few, we'll see what happens tonight is all I'm saying for me. But anyway, with that said, drop a comment in the chat right now if you guys have toxic relationships in your life that you're either getting rid of or you have gotten rid of. Also, big time, hit the like button. Hit the like button for sure. Show me some love. I got a little sicky cold, like snotty nose. Yeah. Anyway, what's up, Conk? What's up, Justin? How you guys doing? Currently in the forum. What's up, Renaissance man? Yo, yo, yo. We're having a bit of this conversation about toxic relationships and cutting toxic relationships out in my forum, the WarTribe.com. The WarTribe.com is kicking off right now. We got quite a bit of people up in there talking about game and bringing in new relationships and spinning plates and how to do XYZ, how to build your online presence as far as your online dating is concerned, how to talk to these girls, as well as how to get rid of bad relationships and getting that cut out. On top of, we're actually having some pretty good conversations right now about building up your investment portfolios with real estate and so forth. So we're all about creating the most well-rounded man. And that's what the WarTribe's about. It's creating the new form of alpha male that puts himself first and turns himself into pretty much a Renaissance man, the kind of guy that can do it all, be it all, and is in complete control over his life. So that's the first choice that I've made in my life. It was hard. This was about 3 years ago that I made the decision, like I said. And of course, there's a ton of guilt and fear associated with it. You know, my haters will come on here and be like, oh, you're wounded and all this other stuff. Don't listen to fucking people that say shit like that. Don't listen to people that sit there and say you're damaged by doing stuff like this. Justin says, I left my ex-wife who was very toxic, but you're right, Corey. It took me a long time to build up the courage to move on. Was scared to leave my kids too. Was your entire family toxic towards you? Yes. My entire family was toxic towards me. I was the scapegoat for everything. They did everything in their power to shit on me and push me out, but try to keep me around so that I could constantly be their scapegoat. They would do all the wrong stuff and then blame it on me. What else would they do? My father, for instance, would always sit here and be like, my dad is the fucking I told you so kind of guy, right? Even though he never tell you so. So if you went out and you screwed up, he'd be like, I told you so. I told you, you fucking idiot. And it's like, dude, you never told me shit, you motherfucker. That's why I'm going and doing this stuff, right? It's always your fault. These types of people, like I said, energy vampires. The other thing is they move the goalposts for everything. No standard. This is something that I noticed for a lot of guys out there that get in these relationships with these women is nothing's ever good enough. They're going to give you a standard to live up to, and then you live up to the standard, right? So like the honey-do list, for instance, and they'll sit there and they'll come home and they'll bitch that you never fucking clean the house or do whatever. And then the next thing you know, the next week, you clean the house and she walks in and you're expecting her to like give you your kudos and be like, yay, good job. Like I'm very proud of you. But instead they'll go over and they'll find one thing that you messed up on or that didn't live up to their fucking standard of perfection, which is crazy because most of them aren't perfectionists. And then they'll try to knock you down, and that's their way of enslaving you. That is toxic level 100 right there. Even in my dating world right now, obviously, if you guys follow me, I date quite a lot of people. I probably currently at this point in time, you know, the holidays have kind of slowed things up a little bit. Still talking, but as far as getting people to commit to things, it's pretty difficult. I fucking hate the holidays, to be honest with you. But I'm usually talking to anywhere from like 10 to 20 girls at a time. And you can point out the toxic ones. You can point out the toxic ones real quick. And that doesn't mean that I don't get in some kind of like small relationship with them, but it's, again, guys, it's my boundaries, okay? If my boundaries are crossed, it's nexting them and Xing them. So it's not to say that when you become red pill aware, you don't still have some form of toxicity coming in. It's just that you don't buy into their toxicity. You're not magnetized towards their stuff. You're not buying into their frame. They're buying into your frame. And most of the time, once they kind of realize that you're rock solid in your frame, they're the first to go because they know that they're not going to manipulate you. They know that they're not going to be able to control you. And that's the beauty of all this stuff. And that's kind of where I'm trying to go with a lot of it. Conk is up in the chat saying there's a correlation between the difficulty of leaving bad relationships and the innate feelings associated with being attracted to the toxic person in the first place. Absolutely. Lust is a hell of a fucking drug. And I used to lust after these broken ass women a long time ago. And that's mainly because I was really broken on the inside too. Because I didn't know my value based off of my upbringing from these toxic parents, right? So I was raised in an environment where a toxic relationship was modeled to me between my parents and my sister, and then how they treated me as well. So I guess like let's talk about some inner child stuff, right? Inner child recognized these patterns, and that's, front brain. That's what a normal relationship is. So when you're looking to be nurtured, right, to get into these relationships, you go towards that toxic relationship, which is, it's fucking crazy, right? That's literally like, what the hell's the fucking word I'm looking for? Insanity, right? That's literal insanity. So that's what I would attract. I would go towards these women that were broken because I'm like, oh, well, I could fix them, hopefully, right? I could fix them through my blue pill fucking tendencies. But the reality is, and this is something that you guys really need to get into, I recommend this book for everyone when they first come to me. They're like, hey, Corey, what book really woke you up and got you going? And this sounds weird, but the book that really cracked open the door to the red pill for me was No More Mr. Nice Guy. And he talks about codependent relationships and having a monogamous relationship with your parents, right? Or mainly as a guy, your mother, right? A lot of guys hold their mother up as like this unicorn, and they believe that their mom is this pure angel. And the reality is, no, she's probably a fucking toxic, crazed feminist, to be honest with you. If she was raised in the 1950s on up, like she's had this impression of what women are supposed to be, and it's from a feminist perspective, which also belittles men and all this other stuff. So you probably have some kind of monogamous attachment to your mom, and it's crazy. So that's something to be on the lookout for. Yeah, and it depends on the level of healing you've gone through in order to heal your own traumas from your past. And that's also something that's going to be able to help you in navigating new relationships. So like I said, I used to attract all these broken girls, try to save them, and they would literally fucking pull me deep into the fucking water of their narcissism and all this other shit. And for me, it was normal, but it would never work out. It was like a firecracker. It was lust. It was like, it would hit the peak and then explode and then just fucking crazy, just radioactive bullshit. And it took me years and years and years. And then it took me like finally collapsing to realize that my fucking system before was broken and I needed to change. Yeah. And then I ended up working on myself and realizing my value through entheogenic medicine like ayahuasca, peyote, and Iboga, plus talking to the right therapist who wasn't in this fucking blue pill mindset and all this other shit. So that really helped me, on top of a whole variety of other things, like meditation. Big fan of meditation. Justin says, yeah, I agree with Conk. I had a lot of issues with myself that let it happen for so long. That's usually where it comes from. Do you have set times during the day where you send texts to all these girls? I found just a couple of girls can be very time consuming. Yeah. And obviously, during that time frame, I'm kind of like prioritizing, right? That's now that I have this level, I'm kind of being able to prioritize, because the end state is sex. The end state is getting on a date. So I'm able to now prioritize. And then I have a main plate who's really consistent, and she's a pretty good girl. And, I try to give her I try to give her just 2 weeks or 2 days out of the week. Sometimes one, but she gets a slot during the week. So honestly, I'm grateful for being red pilled. I'm hyper aware of the dynamics in my relationship with women. I get far better results from Oliver Eugene. Oliver, I've never seen you in here. So, very nice to see you in here. Thanks for following. Let's go on to the next one, because I think I beat the toxic relationship to death. I hope you guys understand that. Let me throw one conclusion in on there. There's no better way to defeat having toxic relationships as your priority than harnessing and controlling a relationship with yourself. And the best way to harness a relationship with yourself, for me, from what I found, is through meditation. Every single day I give myself a 20-minute date where I nurture myself. I nurture my emotions. I nurture the things that are, causing me any type of stress or, stress or imbalance. And I sit there and I meditate and I kind of learn what's going on. And if something pops up, then I take care of it right then and there. And I don't need something else to do it for me. And I keep that as a non-negotiable in my life. And it's the best way for me to really take care of myself. Now, the second best but toughest decision that I ever made was to quit drinking alcohol. Yeah, that's right. I quit drinking alcohol. Now, I stopped drinking alcohol like I shouldn't say I've never been a big drinker as I crack open a can. It's San Pellegrino, by the way. Tangerine and wild strawberry. So it was probably around my 30s when I turned 30 that I kind of slowed down on drinking. I was a high level CrossFit athlete, and I wasn't really, it's crazy when you turn 30, things do change a bit, but, after that I could really feel it for the next 2 days or so. I was going to say, Conk, man, you went a fucking full millennia away, huh? You went into the future. It's when I really started to notice that it would still be with me about 2 days later, and my workouts wouldn't be as sharp, or my mind wouldn't be as sharp. But it wasn't until I did Iboga about 2.5 years ago did I say that I really didn't want alcohol in my life. And I think that the year after I did my first Iboga experience, I probably drank 2 times. My whole thing was that I would drink one time on November 10th, because that was the Marine Corps birthday. I would drink with my brothers to celebrate the Marine Corps birthday, because that's how Marines celebrate. And the other time was at a friend's graduation party, and they were playing beer pong, and I love beer pong. I wish, I actually really enjoy playing it. It's kind of funny. And I think I had 1 or 2 beers, and that was it. And I didn't really feel anything either, which was the great part. So, but the thing with Iboga and alcohol is Iboga will stay in your system for a long time as long as you don't consume alcohol. But when you do consume alcohol, it kind of kicks it out of your system a little bit faster. So, I said that I didn't want to drink it anymore. I didn't want to drink anymore. And I actually stopped drinking entirely. I said that I no longer want to drink alcohol, because the last roommate that I lived with, actually 2 of them, I had 2 roommates, and they were both alcoholics. And this is so if you guys don't know my background, I was homeless for some time, and I had to rebuild from being homeless. And I was living with this organization that actually sheltered me for a little while, but they were fucking crazy maniacs. It was insane. These people were fucking nuts. Got out of there, started going to school, and I finally started getting paid through the GI Bill, and I got my disability rating up to a livable wage. Moved out, but I could only afford a low rent kind of location, right? And I think, that's what happened. I had to move fast, so I had to find something fast. Met this kid at school, didn't know much about him, but he seemed all right. Met him in my philosophy class, and we talked philosophy quite a bit. And I was like, all right, he seems like a decent dude. He's like, yeah, come live here. I went and met the owner. It was a decent house close to my school and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, I can make it happen for that price tag. Did not realize the extent of the alcoholism that was going on there. And this kid, the kid that I was in class with, was probably the biggest alcoholic I've ever seen in my life. And I was a Marine for 9 years. Marines fucking drink. This kid was literally drinking 3/4 of a handle of vodka a day and was constantly drunk. And he was having fucking it was the craziest shit I've ever experienced in my life. He would literally fucking shake and scream. He'd be sleeping in the living room, pass the fuck out, right? And he'd be like having these fucking terrors and all this other stuff and like screaming, no, no. And like fucking just like, oh, it was awful. It was the most repulsive thing I've ever seen in my life. Like to the point where I'm like, fuck alcohol. You know what I mean? Like I already kind of, I don't want to come here on my high horse and be like, I already judge people who drink alcohol. But alcohol is not good for you. It's a very low vibrational, it's very low vibration is what I guess I'm getting at. And I don't want to get all like hippie woo woo fucking crystal chakras alignment kind of thing here, but it's not very good for you. It lowers you down. And the reason why most people drink is because they don't feel like they're good enough. And that's the thing that I really want to hit on here. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I stopped drinking is I'm pretty social. I actually still go out quite a bit. Like I said, I was in Miami last weekend and we went out 3 nights in a row. I went to all the bars. I went and did everything. Like shit, we even fucking we went to a pool party during the day on Saturday. And all my buddies are drinking. I'm okay with being around people that drink as long as they're not fucking insane and puking all over the place and all this stuff, as long as they're somewhat responsible. But still, I would prefer to be around people that didn't drink, that could have fun, that can be outgoing, that could socialize, that could dance, that could actually show some of their insecurities in an environment without having to consume alcohol. Because that's actually what I look at it as, is people that are running away from some kind of issue that they have within themselves, and they're looking to disassociate. And I know a lot about disassociating because for about a good 6-7 months, I was getting high practically every day of my life, smoking weed, eating weed. And then, I was getting fucking stupid high. And it's because I fucking hated myself for quite some time. And I was dealing with a lot of shit and I didn't want to take care of it. And I wasn't happy with myself. And actually, that's what I see a lot of people do with alcohol is they use it as a means to cope with stuff that they could actually fucking clean up if they just fucking decided to look in the mirror and be like, man, it's time to clean it up. It's hard though. It's really hard. All the stuff that I'm telling people to do right now, like cut fucking toxic relationships out of your life and stop drinking alcohol. It's not easy. It's simple. It's not easy. There's a lot of emotional attachments to it. And I'd even have people question right now, like, what type of emotional response are you having right now to me knocking people drinking alcohol or people drinking alcohol? It's just something you got to clean up in your life, right? Why is it that people are trying to ingest this thing that is a literal poison in order for them to feel better about their circumstances in life? There's a reason why, there's so many issues associated with alcohol. It's not good for you. But I don't want to knock people. What's up, Patrick? How you doing? I don't want to knock people for doing it. I would much rather have people sit there and reflect on why they do it and ask themselves, do I really need this? Is this helping me get towards my goals? And would I come from a better source of strength if I decided to get rid of this? And that's really what I'm trying to hone in on here is when these are the 2 most powerful choices I've ever made in my life. And I use the word powerful because I'm the one that made the choice. And I realized that I made these choices to better my life. And I've seen significant results come from these 2 choices. And it could even be something like subconscious. Maybe because I've made these choices, I now feel more powerful because I have control over these 2 things that most people seem to really get lost in. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. I still have my issues with certain things, right? I love food. I'm pretty good with my food. I beat myself up. I'm probably like 13% body fat right now, but I want to be at 10. So after this fucking goddamn holiday season, it's time to hit the grind again. But for the most part, I have a really strong grasp on the things that I know I have no control over. And whenever I realize I don't have control over something, I try to become a master in being able to kind of control that. Now, some people would probably sit there and be like, dude, you sit here and you talk about banging all these girls and all this other stuff. It's like, yeah, I do. Why? Because before I didn't have control over that. Before I didn't have any mastery in being able to date women or date multiple women, or, you know, it was a scarcity mindset. It was like, fuck, man, like I'm never like it was like a roll of the dice. And now it's like, okay, now I have pretty good mastery over it. And that's actually why, you know, I created an online dating mastery course to be able to help guys be able to talk to 20 girls a day and be able to decipher and decide between who they want to bring in their life and who they don't want to. Like, think about that as far as having control and over the design of your life. It's really a fucking epic. It's really an epic position to be in. It's the same thing, like I said, though, with my relationships with other people. I've blocked my family. Like, there is no way, shape, or form they can contact me, because I control that, right? I'm the one that set that control. I do that with anybody else that I'm like, I deem you toxic, you're fucking X'd. I'm cutting you the fuck out there. I'm severing all ties, and I'm building up barricades so that you can't get through to me. So that's huge. And then the next thing and the final thing is I no longer disassociate with any substance. And it's going to sound a little weird because, you know, I did just come back like 3 or 4 months ago from an Iboga ceremony, but there's a big difference between disassociating on my own accord and doing a spiritual ceremony. I must say that. When I know I need to do the work, I put forth the dollars, I commit, I know it's only going to be a set time frame, and I go and I do it. And I wouldn't say that's disassociating whatsoever. That's actually getting more in touch with yourself. Disassociating instead is having fucking weed lying around, or fucking nailing a rail of coke, or, you know, drinking. Like, drinking is so easy to fucking just grab and be like, oh, whatever, right? And in a way, you got to sit here and you got to think about, like, what am I disassociating from? Well, you're disassociating from yourself, and you're disassociating from an insecurity you have. That's why all these fucking people at the clubs, and when, like, I just came back from a Christmas party where it was kind of like a networking event as well. People drink because they feel like they're not adequate enough, so that when they meet other people, they could be a little bit more loose, or they could be a little bit more talkative, or they could be a little bit more fun, or whatever, right? And it's like, no, like, that's just something you have to work on, right? Like, I didn't learn how to talk to people. I wasn't just born with the ability to talk to people. I had to learn how to do it, and I had to get through the uncomfortable feelings of, and the uncomfortable stages of getting my ass beat by being an awkward alligator. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you can't look at people. And this is why I fucking hate a lot of these, like, SJW people that are like, oh, fucking no one should be a billionaire and all this other stuff, and tax the rich and all this stuff. The majority of those people got there based off of developing themselves into that type of person. There's probably only a few, maybe a smaller percentage of people that were like gifted and received that money from it being passed down, right? Generational wealth, which, you know, I can kind of get on their side for that, but whatever. I don't believe in any of that crap. But people that have like self-made and built themselves up there, like that's their reward. That's their reward for putting in the fucking hard work. Yeah, the fucking Rainbow Army, dude. Those motherfuckers coming at me hard lately. Although I must say this, fucking, I just came off a 7-day fucking Twitter ban thanks to fucking Tate. So Tate and his little bitch made crew are just as awful as the Rainbow people. I gotta say it. Dusan, hey, thanks for the tip on Iboga. I'm planning to do it maybe at home since I already had ayahuasca and San Pedro trips. I think I'm saying your name right. Maybe Dujan. I don't recommend that. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you want to do anything at home, maybe microdose Iboga, but I wouldn't take a heroic dose of it. Although people have done it. Iboga is, at certain doses, kind of lethal. and you're pretty well fucking incapacitated. Like, you're more incapacitated than ayahuasca. And I always recommend, whenever you do any type of shamanic journey, you need to do it in the container and space of shamans. Like, pay the fucking money, go and do it right the first time. Cause I've done it the fucking cheap way out before. And, let's just say, it fucked more things up. Yeah. Tate's crew, it's a bunch of fucking people that want to be playboys like him, but have almost zero ability to do it. It's like, all right, I got this silver coin right here, right? So this is 1 ounce silver coin. It's like me sitting here and rubbing this silver and thinking because I'm rubbing this silver, I'm going to get fucking rich. And what I mean by that is this, right? Tate is his own fucking being, but he markets to these fucking kids, these people, these fucking wannabes, and they think the closer that they could get to him, that shit's going to rub off on them. And it's like, no, you fucking idiots. There's no magic pill out there. There's no person that you could just rub shoulders with that is going to automatically get you to the level that you want to be at. That's why everything that I fucking talk about right now, you never hear me say any of this stuff where it's not you doing work. You have to fucking work, right? It's why I'm coming on here on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock telling you motherfuckers like, yo, the 2 hardest things I've ever done but have paid the best dividends are cutting fucking toxic people to include my family out and fucking stop drinking fucking alcohol and being a little simp bitch. Yeah, no, listen, hey, fucking Tate, oh, man, it's a love-hate right now, to be honest with you. There's parts of Tate that are fucking awesome. He's very charismatic. He's got a pretty cool fucking lifestyle, right? He seems like he'd be pretty fun, but Tate's a little boy though. At the end of it, like, we're trying to turn you guys into men. He's a little boy, right? The way he does things, the way he markets himself, the way he reacts to people and the things that he does, even his little like the majority of his programs are scams, right? This is boy energy, right? He throws tantrums. He does things he cuts corners. He hyperinflates his own stuff, and all his shit is ego based. It's all ego based, right? He probably doesn't have a lot of depth, but he sits there and he tells you guys, oh, I got all this stuff. I got all this stuff. I got all this stuff. And people love the glitz and the glitter and the glamour and all this other shit. And they'll sit there and they'll be intrigued by it, but they'll also follow him off the fucking cliff. And the reason why I'm saying that, guys, is this. I talked to Tate personally, and I was like, dude, I'm involved with this stuff with crypto and Forex. He's like, nah, get rid of that and come and do my fucking crypto trading academy stuff. I was like, all right, well, I'm a beginner. This is where I'm at. I can't invest all my money into it right now because I got to do other stuff. He's like, all right, no worries. Get involved. It's for beginners, all this other stuff. So I log on. I buy his fucking program for $2,500. And I log on and I start listening to it. And it's like, oh, if you're in the US, it's illegal for you to trade on the platforms that we're trading with. So we recommend that you get a VPN, but you know, if you get caught, you're going to lose all your money. And it's like, that's not a fucking smart investment. That's not a smart investment. Like, sure, I can make tons of fucking money if I wanted to, but what you're telling me is let's say I log on one day and I didn't have my VPN up or something like that, and it pings me as trading from the US and they fucking seize my account, then I lose all my shit. The second thing is they're fucking trading with leverage. They're trading Bitcoin with leverage, 10x leverage to 25x leverage. What they're doing is they're saying, bring your Bitcoin in, right? Whatever Bitcoin you own, and then you're borrowing 10 to 25 coin from the fucking house. So if you make a bad bet, guess what? You lose all your shit, plus you got to pay back the 10x or 25x. I'm sorry, motherfucker, but that's not fucking smart. Especially like, okay, if you got money to burn, okay, cool. Fucking risk it. It's just like going in the goddamn casino and putting 5 G's on fucking red and being like, oh, so be it. I got 100K back at home. But I'm playing with my dividends or what I've earned. But for someone who's trying to build wealth off of that, it's not a fucking smart play. So I was like, yo, I emailed him right back after watching the first one. I was like, yo, this isn't what you fucking promised. Number 2, it's illegal, right? And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and fucking be a crybaby about illegality, but it just didn't make sense for my money. And then I said, this isn't smart. This isn't smart. This isn't for beginners. This isn't what you promised. I was like, Tate, I bought a bunch of your stuff before. I liked your other programs, but this program is a fucking scam and it sucks. I want my money back. I was like, I hate to be this guy, but I want my money back. Like, this is not worth my money. He says he has a 30-day guarantee. I'm like, hey, I want my money back. This is within my 30-day window. No response. Email him back again. Hey, Tate, within the 30-day window, I want my money back. No response. Hey, Tate, still within the 30-day window. Are you going to honor your 30 days or not? No fucking response back. Talk to people that work with him. They're like, hey, just keep emailing Tate. He's the one that's got to make the decision on this. So this dude fucking not only puts out a scammy fucking product, but doesn't offer his fucking 30-day money back guarantee. And he's pushing all this stuff. It's like, you know, people are sitting here getting on fucking Anthony 80J for all this stuff. You know, no one wants to sit here and talk about Tate and being a shady motherfucker on top of being a little crybaby for getting me fucking banned on Twitter for 7 days because he wanted to talk shit and I just said something back and he fucking gets me banned. It's like, that's such bullshit, dude. Like, don't be a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be in the fucking manosphere acting like a man, be a fucking man. Don't act like a little boy. And that's kind of where he's at. So there's that. There's my take on that whole situation. Like I said, there's parts of Tate I respect, but then there's some serious parts about him that are fucking scammy and fucking full of shit. And unfortunately, the scammy side to things outweigh the fucking good sides of Tate. So that's my truth on that, dude. Got Amongst Men finally did ayahuasca last month. Got my Iboga trip next month. Your video pushed me to do it because I wasn't some soy boy oozing. I'm guessing because whatever, because it wasn't some soy boy oozing feminine energy while telling their experiences. Yeah, you know what? With that said, this whole spirit world, these whole spiritualist people that sit there and I can't fucking stand this. When people sit here and they talk like this, and they sit here and they try to deliver things to you as though you're a precious little puppy that needs to be handheld through everything. And, life is about light and love and positivity. It's like, no, motherfucker. You're missing out on the other side of fucking energy out there too. You're forgetting the masculine. You're forgetting fucking violence. You're forgetting that nature is based on fucking destroying things and building themselves up based off of what they fucking destroyed, right? A lion eats a fucking gazelle so that it stays strong and healthy and continue to procreate or fucking promote its genes. Like, half of nature is fucking violence. All these fucking hippie people that want to sit here and fucking say that, like, the universe is love and all this stuff. No, there's hella darkness in this fucking universe. Chaos. Explosions, right? Like nuclear fucking fission. Like, you think that thing's fucking nice? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's what I learned. That's what I learned from all this stuff. It's okay to be masculine. You can be spiritual and you could be masculine. You could be aggressive, right? In the right context and still be a spiritualist, right? You could still fucking do all this shit. But there's so many people out there that are trying to convince people to be this little soy boy fucking, what the hell is that fucking haircut? Top knot, fucking man bun wearing bullshit, vegan, coffee enema fucking fruitcakes that sit there and they talk about it like that. It's like, no. Like, in my spiritual stuff, going into like Iboga, ayahuasca, peyote and all this shit, like, I've seen some fucking shit. Like, I've seen hologram. I cannot believe you're on my fucking comments right now. I can't believe you're watching me. I see you fucking comment on MLD shit all the time. Some of the fucking best comments I've ever seen. I'm very happy to have you in the chat right now. Thanks for being here. I hope you subscribe too, by the way. Yes. No, what we need to do, Conk, is this. We need to understand that spirituality is not a feminine monopoly. People will try to sit there and they'll try to sit there and say, you need to dress in all white and you got to talk to people like this and you got to fucking sit in lotus position and, Om and namaste and talk to people like that. Like, fuck no. You know where I learned the most spirituality too? Fucking jujitsu. Muay Thai, fighting with motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, half of fucking spirituality is masculine, and it is literally ripping the fucking jugular out of your enemy and like pulling his heart out and fucking raising it to the fucking crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize that aggression and violence and this like stoic side of things and being fucking honest and saying things that are hurtful to people, right? When they need to fucking hear the truth, that is equally as spiritual. So, thanks, man. Oh, no shit. I didn't know that. I appreciate it, hologram. Yeah, no. Being a warrior is spiritual. There's a book out there. It's called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And it goes through like the masculine archetypes. And it's very Jungian because obviously, Jung really broke down the archetypes. But those are the masculine archetypes. And the problem that we've kind of turned the society into is we've turned the society into a lover's society. And it's like, love is bullshit. Love is bullshit. It's a farce, right? It's one energy, but everyone will sit there and be like, oh, the greatest energy out there is love. I don't think so. I think the greatest energy out there is fucking power. As weird as that sounds, right? Like, if you look at it that way, it's like the warrior harnesses power. The warrior harnesses all of his energy and focuses it towards one or two things, right? And then another great thing out there is this, like, I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a fucking gardener in a war. Like, what's better for your society? To raise up a bunch of fucking gardeners that are sitting there, like, sitting around eating fucking granola and talking about the earth and all this shit and then fucking getting into a war? Or having a fucking bunch of warriors around, but that can sit there in a walled garden and can fucking and grow crops too at the same time, or can respect that time frame of peace because they first knew war. Like, what's a better society? And my philosophy is simply that: train everyone up to be a warrior first. Train them up to be a warrior first. Hone in their masculine. Teach them what masculinity is. Teach them to harness their masculinity and be able to, no kidding, direct it at an enemy if need be. And then after that, hey, everything's fucking all good in the hood until, one of my best friends right now, you guys probably know Big Googs. He's like, I'm nice until I'm not. That's one of my favorite sayings. I'm a really nice guy until I'm not. I'm really nice until you're not. That's kind of what you want to be. That's what you want to hone in on. And that's part of that too. If you guys haven't read my book, Live Your Best Life in 30 Days. Yeah, I know, kind of a chintzy title. I was, before I was going to throw it out there as like a free thing. And that's kind of why I wanted it, kind of clickbaity title. But it's really a good book to get people on the path to really start honing in on a lot of this stuff. And it's spiritual in a sense of like a man's spirituality is discipline. And, one of the greatest societies out there that really honed in on this discipline was the fucking samurai. The samurai fucking were professionals in violence. They were the fastest acting to violence that could possibly happen. And they would devastate quickly. But they realized in order to be fucking spiritual, they also had to do some feminine activities to balance them back from just being strictly like barbarian. So they would focus their day on meditation, being in the garden and pruning their gardens, sand art, calligraphy, and so forth, and even dance, right? They were big on the arts, but that's because they were so focused on the art of killing. And that's kind of where we need to get back to as well. Is like, that's what our men need to be. They need to be fucking savages. They need to be noble savages, We are soldiers and our lives are war. Absolutely. Amen on that. I plan on doing lots of violent and spiritual talks on my stuff. Beautiful. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but the victory belongs to the Lord. Beautiful. I like it. Same message as the gardener warrior phrase. There is a shortage of men, says Patrick Knotts. Yes, we have a lot of males walking around, but this is where my philosophy comes back to it too. I talked about my spiritual journeys that I've gone through that have kind of led me to these two things that I talked about today that have been the, most powerful choices I've made. And that's cutting toxic people out of my life and stopping the usage of alcohol, or actually disassociating in any way or shape or form. But the way I found this is through having and going through these spiritual initiations using ayahuasca, Iboga, and peyote, on top of a few other things like sweat lodges and just various other forms of things. I'd say they've all tied in, but to be honest with you, the greatest tool I've ever used thus far has been Iboga. That has been the most masculine initiation that I've ever done. And that's what separates boys from men. You have to go through a ritual that kills off the boy. And that's actually what's missing from our society as well. You know, the Spartans at 13 had the agoge. Yeah, girl, woman is based on age, boy, man is an individual achievement. Absolutely. Becoming a man is a choice. Becoming a woman is not. Every girl is going to have her period, right? That is going to be her initiation into womanhood. And the downfall with that is this. Like, it's kind of like where I'm at, right? So I don't know if you guys listen to War Stories Sunday. I'm going to tell this story tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be feeling all right to do it. But I'm going to tell the story of when I got blown up. And we took multiple Iboga, Justin. Yeah, you got it right there. Iboga. Fuck, where was I? Oh yeah, I got blown up in Afghanistan. I watched my friend get blown up as well. Kind of spoiler alert there. Got blown up a couple more times, all that other stuff. And, you know, I faced a lot of PTSD from everything that I experienced on top of my upbringing and all this other crap. I forgot where I was going with that. I got caught up in the story. But what it comes down to is being initiated into manhood. Fuck. I forgot where I was going with that. Man, I'm going to have to look back. Brain is not working as well. I got caught up with the Iboga here on the screen too. Either way, I'll tell you one thing about that as well. I thought that was going to be my initiation to manhood. I thought going to war was an initiation into manhood, and it kind of was. But there needed to be a killing off of the boy way earlier in life. And that's something that we're really missing from our societies today. And that's something I'm actually writing my second book right now. I talk a lot about that. I talk about how we need to. The second book is really about all the problems that we're seeing where we've kind of derailed from the spiritual journey in our society, and how we need to reinvigorate these things into a new society in the future, and how we need to rebuild. Because obviously we can all tell that, you know, shit's about to collapse. Like, this society cannot sustain itself. It's far too decadent. We've outgrown it. But how can we recreate a new society, mixing in the things that are necessary from the old and then tying it in with the technologies that we have today? And obviously I'd get rid of some of this stuff. I got a guest spot on Rich Cooper's channel for January, talking rites of passage and toxic family. That's fucking awesome, dude. I'm all about that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty well versed in both of those. So yeah. Has anyone here done Iboga at home? I don't think so. If you want to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, feel free to shoot me some messages. It's just at Corey Capella. And we could kind of talk through it, but at the same time, I've never done it at home. So I can just kind of give you like an idea of what the ritual is like, and how you should kind of like open the ceremony and cleanse and all that other stuff beforehand. And that's it. But I don't recommend it. So whatever. If you want to email me, feel free. Or you can email me at agodofmen at gmail if you so desire. Anyway, man, ranting a little bit. So I'm going to call it here. 15 people up in the chat right now. Please do hit the like button if you haven't already hit the like button. I'm going to be live tomorrow with John Fitch at 9:30 a.m. Red Pill Smash Bros. Here's something I wouldn't mind from you guys too. This conversation that we're having right now is something that we should be having in the WarTribe forum. So go to the WarTribe.com, www.thewartribe.com. Become a member, and let's start having these conversations in there. I'm on there quite a bit. We have quite a lot of good conversations going on there. And I'll tell you another thing is this. I'm wanting to start setting up a weekly webinar. I think I want to do it Saturday mornings, where we can all get on the horn, because this is a one-way conversation. Even though you guys are able to kind of talk to me via chat, I would like to get into a webinar. Obviously, everything will be anonymous as well via Zoom, where we can sit in there and we can actually have the conversation, where you guys can ask me direct questions about all of this stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, go to thewartribe.com, sign up, become a member. And I'm going to start posting a little bit more in there about setting up this webinar as well, because I think the webinar is really where we need to go. We need to create a no kidding space, where men get together and we have these conversations. And then instead of it just being me talking at you, it's going to be us kind of question and answer kind of stuff. So with that said, go over to thewartribe.com, like this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. With that said, I'll see ya.